Guys, you're welcome to my channel Bedberekito. In today's tutorial I'll be teaching you guys how to cut a neckline bustier. Very easy. So if you want to learn how to cut a neckline bustier, just stay tuned. First of all, these are the tools that are needed. The tools that I'll be using: I have my pin. This is my pin. I have my cuffs, my ruler, I have my armhole cuff, I have my pattern master, I have my paper scissors, I have my marker, and I have the fabric I'll be working with. But I will draft it on a paper before I will now cut it out on my fabric. So in cutting, the measurements needed are as follows. I'll be using shoulder length of 18 inches. I'll be using the waist of 43 inches. I'll be using the under bust of 41 inches, bust of 46 inches. I'll be using shoulder to nipple 12 inches, nipple to nipple 9 inches, shoulder to waist, which is the half length, 18 inches. Okay, so in cutting the neckline bustier, first of all, what I'll be using to measure out is the bust span. Bust span is the same thing as nipple to nipple measurement. So the bust span is 4.5. No, the bust span is 9. So I folded my paper into 2. So the 9 divided by 2 will give me 4.5. 4.5 plus half inches allowance, I will have 5. Or you calculate it this way: the bust span 9 plus 1 will give you 10. 10 divided by 2 will give you 5. Okay, I hope I'm cleared. So I'll measure out 5. I'll measure out 5 inches. I'll come to the shoulder. I'll measure out 5 inches. I'll measure 5 inches. Five inches. Then I'll connect the line with my ruler. So this is it. I hope we are seeing it. So this is it. Then I'll now measure my vertical measurements. The vertical measurement I'll measure is from shoulder to nipple 12 inches. I'll mark it 12 inches. From nipple to under bust, from shoulder to under bust is 16 inches. Then plus 2 inches to give me the half length, but I'll be adding half inches. The additional half inches is the additional half inches for sewing allowance that I'll use to join the upper bodies to the lower bodies. Okay, I'll connect it. So I'll label it. This is my bust. This is my bust line. BS, my bust line. Excuse me. BL, my bust line. This is my under bust. And this is my what? Half length. HL. So I'll do the same here. Bust line, under bust, and half length. So this is my sewing what allowance that I'll use to do what? Join it. Okay. Then in folding my paper, I use the biggest body measurement. The biggest body measurement is the bust. The bust circumference is 46 inches. 46 inches divided by 4. 46 inches divided by 4 will give me I divided 46 inches by 4. I got 11.5. That 11.5, because this is a bust cut, I'll still be removing that, and the darts that I'll remove, I'll cut it out, and when the dart I cut out, I'm still going to add it back. So I'll make sure that I have enough fabric so that I won't run short of fabric. So I added 5 inches allowance. When I add 5 inches allowance, so 11.5 plus half inches is, I'll be having plus 1 inches is, that will be 12. That 12.5 plus 5, I'll be having 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 plus 17, that is 17.5. So when you see, I folded it using 18 inches. So we have more than enough. So this is 19 inches. Then the length, I use the body, my half length. My half length is, like I said, is 18 inches plus half inches for joining it, okay? So that you don't get confused. So it's time for me to do what? Mark my dart. In marking my dart, this is my starting point. This is my starting point, and in this my starting point, that is my top line, or I'll call it shoulder line. I'll be removing from my inside the bust line, inside the 5 inches, the bust palm line, that is the nipple to nipple measurement line. I will remove half inches. Outside it, I will remove what? 1 inches. So I have to mark that. I'll mark half inches. Outside, I'll mark 1 inches. So then I'll come to my bust line. My bust line, I will not mark any dart on my bust line. I'll come to my under bust, because it's bustier. What I'm making is a bustier what? Dress. So I want the upper bodies. In the upper bodies, I want the bust to protrude. So, and her bust circumference is 46 inches. I'll be using the accurate cup measurement for 46 inches, which is 2.5. I'm still going to make a video whereby I'll give us the required bust cup measurements that are used for various bust sizes and how to calculate it, okay? But I'm using bust circumference 46 inches, and the accurate bust cup I'll be using is 2.5. So, and I want the bust to do what? Protrude. If you didn't want the bust to protrude, you can mark less here in the under bust, okay? but I want the bust to protrude. So what I will do is that, since I want the bust to protrude, inside the bust nipple to nipple measurement line, I'll mark 1 inches. I'll mark 1 inches. Then outside it, I'll mark 1.5 inches. I'll mark 1.5 inches. Then I'll come to the half length. I'll mark what? Half inches. I'll mark half inches on both sides. Then I'll connect it. I'll use my ruler. I'll connect. Then I'll come to the bust point line. If I come to the bust point line, I'll come up by 1 inch. Then I'll come down by what? 1 inch. Okay, so here it is. I'll connect the shoulder dart to the 1 inch above, like so. Likewise, I'll connect the other one to the 1 inch above. So I came up by 1 inch and went down by 1 inch because this bust line is where this is my bust point. My bust point is what? 12 inches. My bust point is what? 12 inches. So I don't want it to be pointed, so I want to give it a space. That's why I went up by 1 inch and came down by 1 inch. You can as well go up by half inch and you can come down by what? Half inch. But I don't want that. I chose to do that. So I'll connect my what? Bust. I'll connect my bust. I'll use my curve to connect it. Because I want this place to be curvy. I'll connect it from the 1 inches down to the under bust. I'll also connect it this way from the 1 inches to the under bust. Like so. Then I will now bring it down to the I'll connect it again to the 1 inch and the half length. So that is it. So this is my dart. I've marked my dart, so I'll cut my dart out. Sorry, let me do this. This is it. I'll just like make a curve here. You can see it. So this is it. I want us to see it very well. Then I'll cut. You cut it like so. Remember the darts, I'll be cutting out the darts that I marked, I'll be cutting it out. I want to secure this paper. I'll secure this paper with a pin. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm doing. I need to secure this paper with a pin. I'll also do the same down. I'll secure the paper with a what? Pin. So I've cut out the darts that I marked. I've cut it out. And I've secured my paper with a pin. So now I'll now measure my shoulder length. I'll secure this paper too with a pin. I'll just need to hold it with something. Let me use my phone to place on it. So I'll place my phone on it for it to be straight. Then for me to cut out the whole upper body, so what I will do is that I've cut out the what? The center what? Front. That is the center block. I will now use it and place it on top of the remaining what? Paper. I'll place it like half inch in. I'll place it like okay. So here it goes. I've placed it. Now that I've secured it with pin, I will now measure my shoulder length. My shoulder length is what? 18 inches. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 18 inches, 18 divided by 2 is what? 9. I'll mark what? 9 inches. 9 inches, that is my shoulder length. 9 inches. In marking my 9 inches, remember I removed 1.5 inches from the shoulder line for that. So I'll have to replace the 1.5 inches that I removed from the shoulder line. That is the half I removed from inside and 1 I removed from outside. So when I do that, plus the half inches I'll use and sew in my sleeve, I'll just add what? 2 inches. So when I add 2 inches to my shoulder, that will be 11. Okay, then I'll come to my, from that shoulder, I will come down by what? From my shoulder length, I'll come down with I'll come down by 1 inch. That is my shoulder slope. From that shoulder slope, I'll come down by what? 9 inches. Why am I coming down by 9 inches? This is my chest line. Okay, this is what? My chest line. How do I get my chest line? I calculated it using this formula: bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So my bust is 46. 46 divided by 6 plus 1.5, I got 8.6. I approximated it to 9. So this is it. So you mark it and you draw a line. To this place. Then you draw slope too. You slope your shoulder. You slope your shoulder by 1 inch as well. So when I do that, my bust circumference is 46. 46 divided by 4. 46 divided by 4, I'll be having 46 divided by 4. Let me see what I calculated. 46 divided by is 11.5. 11.5 plus 1 inch is 11.5. I'll mark 11 what? 0.5 plus 1 inch is, I'll be having what? 12.5. That is my bust circumference. But my bust circumference, I'll not be marking it on my bust line. I'll mark it on my what? Chest line. Okay. So my 46 divided by 4 will give me 11.6. 11.6 plus 1 inch is will give me what? 12.5. 12.5. I'll mark 12.5. Being that I did not remove any dart from the bust point or the shoulder line, remember I came up by 1 inch, I'll mark what? 12.5. 12.5. I'll just add the 2 each allowance. 12.5, that is 12.5, 13.5, 14.5. So I'll mark 14 what? 0.5. Then I'll come to my underbust. My underbust, I'll not mark my underbust, I'll just mark my what? Half length. My half length, my waist measurement is 43. 43 divided by 4 will give me 10.75. 10.75. 10.75. I'll mark 10.75. This is 10.75, approximately 11. I'll mark 11 inches. When I mark 11 inches, remember I remove 2.5 inches from the underbust. So I'm not adding anything to underbust. I will just directly add it to what? To the what? To my half length and connect direct. So I'll add 2.5. 2.5 dots. 11, 12, 13. That will be 13.5. When I add 2.5 to 11, that's 11, 12, 13, 13.5. So when I add it, I'll just connect. You can see I didn't add anything to it. I just go ahead and add what 2-inch sewing allowance. You see why I added 5 inches. Then I'll use my ruler to do what? Connect my what? Connect my shoulder line from the slope. Like so. This is it. So we are almost done. If you don't have your curve, you can see that you can come up by 1.5 inches. You come up at the curve by what? 1.5 inches. When you don't have what? If you don't have what? If you don't have what? A armhole curve, you come up at the chest line slightly by 1.5, then you connect. Then 9, remember this is my what? For me to get my front armhole, I have to come in by 1/2 inch at the middle. 9 divided by 2 will give me 4.5. I'll find the midpoint. This is 4.5. 4.5. In 4.5, I'll come in by 1/2 inch. So I'll connect. I'll connect like so. So this is my accurate front measurement. My front armhole, this is what? My front armhole. This initial armhole should be my back what? Armhole. Then I will do what? Cut, and that is it. Then remember, I have to slant my shoulder from here. Or if I want, I will not slant my shoulder now, because I want to slant my shoulder afterwards, measuring my what? Neckline. Okay? But if you want, you can cut out this your slope, shoulder slope, but I don't want to cut it out yet. I want to do what? Transfer it, cut it on my fabric. When I cut it on my fabric, I will do what? I'll pad it. After padding it, then I will join it together. After joining it together, I'll pad it before I'll do what? Draft out my what? Neckline. But if you want, you can draft out your own neckline now. But I don't want to do that. So let's see what our outcome is. We are done for the drafting of the what? Neckline busting. This is the front bodies. I'll just have to hold it with what? Okay, let's see what we have. So guys, this is the outcome of what we drafted. This is the outcome. So I'll just use my phone to hold it. I'll just use something to hold it down. So this is my center block, and these are my what? Side what? Block. I'll also find something to hold it down. Let me use the scissors to hold it. So this is the center block, and this is the side panel. Okay, this is the center block, this is the side panel. So what I'll do is that I'll go ahead and do what? Now transfer this to my what? Fabric. This is my fabric. What I'll just do is that I'll open my fabric. My fabric is already on fold, and I'll do what? The way it is. I'll do what? I'll just first of all cut out the center panel. I'll just transfer it on my fabric, cutting out the center panel. Then I'll cut out the what? Side panel. Okay. We'll be stopping here. I will show you how to do what? Cut out the what? The back what? Panel. But the back panel is going to be very easy and simple, because I'll only be doing what? Cutting out the back panel is the normal what? Cutting that I will use, but I'll still show you guys how I did it. Okay, thanks for watching. Please, as you have watched this one, don't forget to watch the part 2 of this section. Thank you. Bye.